Hey, good morning YouTube. My name is Kenny. Thank you for checking out the channel. So on today's video, what we're going to be doing is getting the front end of the 2005 Yamaha Banshee put together. So we do have some custom parts. We're going to go through all those. They'll all be linked down here in the description section. So if you have any questions, you'll know exactly what products I'm going to be using and exactly where these products come from. So let's go ahead and get this camera flipped around. A lot less talking and a lot more putting this thing together. All right, so we have all of our parts kind of laid out back here of what we're going to be using. We did kind of lay all those out on the table in the last video, so hopefully you all understand what we're going to be going on. Back here, we have the motor, which I'm waiting on the top end from HJR out in California. So that'll be coming in here soon. And we got all of our bolts and nuts back here that we're going to be using. But make sure you use some good anti-seize and we'll get this together, get it rolling.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror.
All right, everyone, so we have everything sitting right here. We're going to be ready to roll. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our shocks just hanging and put some weight. I do have the rear secured so it doesn't tip forward or anything, but we're going to go ahead and get the front shocks on and let it hang. So these are the shocks that we're going to be using. These are YFZ450 shocks. They look great. Sent them out to Jogaca. He re-sprung them from my weight, and we're going to go ahead and get them hanging off here. I did already measure them to just make sure they weren't going to be too long or bind up in anything, so they look great. So we're going to get our hardware here that says front shocks and get these on. The anti-seize is going to be our friend, so we're going to make sure we just keep the bucket open. So this kit comes with locking nylon washers there, so that's great. Same thing for the other side. We're going to get it hung off here and get it installed. All right, the front shocks are installed. We got the hardware up there. We do have the other bolts sitting right over here, back there, and they're going to go on the bottom. But we're going to go ahead and get the upper arms on here in a minute, as well as the lowers. Just get everything in there, hand tighten, and then we'll tighten it all down here a little bit later. All right, we have our arms that we're going to be getting installed right here in a second, but I'm going to use a little bit of grease to put on there. It does help the arms slide in a little bit. Just going to rub it on those little areas there. Upper arm can go in first, obviously. The Alba arms also have these little spacers. I don't really know why. That go on here. And these caps have all been Cerakoted as well, so they're going to remain clean for a long time and be easy to clean afterwards. Now the bottom ones. And we're going to be using our lower arm hardware as well. Now for some of you might be wondering why these are pretty easy to get in there, besides just the grease. Just because before I sent this out for powder coating, I did put 2 crescent wrenches on them and then tweak them out just a little bit to compensate for that extra thickness of the powder. All right, now we'll see if we'll be lucky. I'm not 100% sure how this, well, that should fit in there fine, no problems. Let's see. Pretty sure is that gonna go in there with the washer? I don't know. We'll figure this part. Got a little gap in there. I might put a washer in that. We'll see. Boom, it all looks good on there now. Everything is still a little dirty, but we have the arms on, upper and lower. Gotta clean up all that extra anti-seize up here. Now, these are the factory bolts. I did Cerakote those. They'll come up pretty clean and everything. I didn't buy new ones just because they were going to come black or dark, and I wanted to keep the silver look for everything. So that's that. Now down here, I did put a extra stainless steel washer on that side to just give it a little bit of space, as well as up here. I'm pretty sure if I tightened them down, they would have crimped a little bit closer, but I decided not to go that route. But all right, spindles are going to be coming on next, and I'm loving it. I mean, we're getting there, coming along really nice with that front end. But what we're going to go ahead and do is get the spindles on. We do have them sitting here, Cerakoted with the C7700, which is that glacier silver color, along with the rears. This part right here is Cerakoted black. I think it's the armored black, but Cerakote all the way. New bearings. We're going to go ahead and get those mounted in here, get all that secured and tightened up, and then hopefully be able to see what this is going to look like better here in a bit in the light. So it is time. We're going to go ahead and get the nuts off the bottom. Now, down here, we do have these already secured. We did that in the last video. These have been tightened down really tight. We put anti-seize in there, but these are adjustable. So you just pretty much thread, push in and push out to adjust your camber that you want. Right now, we're going to just get the bottom on. Hopefully this is going to be a good process. For those of you who've done this before, you know that it can get tedious if things start to spin and not seize up well. That worked. Are we going to get lucky on the tops? All right, so finally we got both arms on. And when I say finally, it's nothing bad. It's just that this one here, when I put them on, you can't really get a nut on there. So I had to take the spring back off, move the spring, well, take the shock mount off, move it back to be able to get a 22 on here to adjust them, to get my camber more straight up and down. But right here, they barely touch. But when you sit the machine down, it won't. But it's barely touching. Same over here. We're good over there on that end. I freaking nicked it. I might take them off and repowder coat that, but we'll figure. I did, to put some added weight in the rear, go ahead and put the rear shock on, which looks great. Linkage and everything's on there. Got the new bolts here. Hardware here and here. But I got the old bolt still in there with a new nut on the other side. But yeah, this is coming together really nicely. I'll go ahead and put the swing arm on this video as well. And just to have it on there for right now, I don't think I'm going to put I could put the axle in. I could put a whole bunch of stuff in, but we'll see what we can get done in this video right here, actually. All right, everyone. So as you see, the Banshee is no longer in here. We will be closing this video up here in a minute. Just do a brief walk around. Off camera, I did do a couple things. I did go ahead and get the rear swing arm and axle installed. I showed those to you all in the last video. It really wasn't much to do that. Maybe 4 or 5 bolts. Everything was included in the bolt kit, which was absolutely amazing, except for one bolt. It was the grease pivot bolt down there, the one that has a little grease zerk in it. That wasn't included, but all the other ones were. This machine looks great, looks brand new, and I'm super excited to show you all. Let's get to it. All right, everyone, we have it outside and it's looking absolutely amazing, looking great. Man, the sun's right in my eyes. But we're gonna flip the camera around, take a look at it. Don't mind all the mess. As I stated, some construction going on. I'm gonna be getting my new shop up there. Woo! Well, let's go. So here we are with the YZ blue colored frame. Everything looking absolutely wonderful. And as we've stated, you can see that VIN there with absolutely no problem. We have the Alba front long travel arms on there. YFZ450 shocks. I did put one washer on the side of the mount. Now, when you put the mount in there, when you put it in, I originally put it on this side, but I decided to put it on that side to give me a little bit more space between here. Jogaca rebuilt my suspension. It is re-sprung for my weight. All new hardware, except for a few. These have been Cerakoted. The silver, which absolutely looks great, gives a nice clean factory look. Also Cerakoted these caps here. Cerakoted the hubs, Cerakoted the black there. All new tie rods. Gonna be putting the steering stem in here in the next video. We did go ahead and do the rear, so this is the stuff I didn't show you. So one of the things we didn't look at here was we didn't really show the rear shock too well, but man, look at the contrast to how good all that orange looks in the rear now, right? So we have the Tyson stock length swing arm with the carrier, roundhouse style carrier. We have a extended axle put in there. As you see, those are the spacers, and you can take the spacers out and then have it shorter, which is more of a stock width, but I have it on a little wider end. We have new bolts coming in. This isn't it, but these are freaking M20s. These are the 18s that I bought don't fit, but illusion orange for all that. Looks great. What we have to purchase is a few things that we'll discuss here in a bit, but man, all that all look good. All new, the hardware everywhere except for here. And then I did put a grease zerk on the end of my arm here. So what I did was the bolt that goes to here has 1, 2, 3 holes drilled in it going up and down. This side has been capped or filled in with JB Weld, and then the sleeve that goes over top has a bolt in the middle. I mean, a hole in the middle. So what this will do is when I fill it with grease and it goes all the way through, it will then come through the center hole, go out, and then get to these bearings here. But the other grease that's in here will keep this whole shaft and this whole bolt lubricated so it does not get stuck in there. All right, everyone, so we're gonna be concluding this video up. Hopefully in the next video we'll be able to get the steering stem installed along with all that hardware. We'll be able to get the tie rod ends in. I have not ordered the handlebars. They are going to be the 1 1/8 fat bars that are going to go on here. I'm thinking I'm going to do silver as well. I'm going to get the rims out of my area, get them soaked, start getting them blasted and getting them prepped up and ready for some new powder. I already have that coming in the mail. I'm not really sure where I'm going to be going with the brakes. I don't know if I'm just going to run the factory ones on here that are kind of, you know, the single piston, or if I'm going to run the dual piston. I might run the dual piston, but this thing is coming along, man. And if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to see what the machine looked like in the beginning, here's a playlist right here.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they want to go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this.